Apple's Mac Mini is powerful, no doubt about that. But let's be honest, it is missing something. It has limited storage and limited expandability that can really hold you back. Until now. Enter the Beelink Mate Mini. This right here is a Thunderbolt 5 dock that not only expands your storage, yet it transforms your Mac Mini into a full-fledged workstation. Let's talk about why anyone would want to buy this docking station. If you're like me and you bought a base Mac Mini when it came out, then you've probably already hit the storage limit. I mean, 256 gigabytes barely fits anything these days. And once you start installing apps, editing videos, or even working with larger files, the space disappears almost instantly. And that's where the problem begins, because the Mac Mini does not have expandable internal storage. You basically are stuck with whatever you bought. Now I know you can swap out the internal Mac Mini SSD, but you run a risk of voiding the warranty. And that is a delicate process in itself. So the next best thing is to get a docking station which can also support some fast SSDs. And that's where the Beelink Mate Mini makes its mark. Construction wise, this is all aluminum, so it really feels similar to the Mac Mini. Now on the back you get two USB 3.0 ports. These are USB-A. You get a 2.5 gig Ethernet port, which is good for a fast LAN connection. You also get a headphone jack, and you get two USB-C ports, one which connects the dock to your Mac Mini, and the other one is for extra power delivery. Oh, and I almost forgot. On your side, you get the SD card reader, which is really good for offloading your footage from your camera or any other device. You can also configure this so that this sits on top of your Mac Mini, or your Mac Mini sits on the bottom of this docking station. Inside there are two NVMe SSD slots, which can support up to 16 terabytes of storage total, and that's a max of 8 terabytes per slot. Beelink actually offers two versions of this dock, the Mate Mini A, which is what I have, and the Mate Mini B, which is geared towards faster speeds. Now the version that I have, the Mate Mini A, comes with two NVMe SSD slots. Both can support up to 8 terabytes of maximum storage, yielding in total of 16 terabytes of storage. On the other hand, the Mate Mini B focuses more on the speed. It gives you Thunderbolt 5 performance, but with a single NVMe slot, so the maximum storage you could do there is 8 terabytes. So basically, if you need more storage, go with the faster Mate Mini A, but if you need more raw transfer speeds, then go with the Mate Mini B. Alright, let's go ahead and unbox this thing. So packaging wise, it looks quite similar to Apple's packaging. Inside you get the instructions manual and then the Mate Mini itself. You also get two USB-C adapters, one for, if you're going to put your Mate Mini below the Mac Mini, and the other one for the one above Mac Mini, because they both have different heights. Next up is the Mate Mini itself. Here's what it looks like from the top and from the bottom. As you can see, it takes a lot of inspiration from the Mac Mini itself. So let's go ahead and open this thing up so that we can install the two NVMe SSDs. So the process is quite simple. So you remove the little plastic caps and then you'll see the 4 screws. Go ahead and remove those 4 screws. Now you'll see 4 additional screws by the fan that you need to remove. Once that's removed, disconnect the fan plug. And these are the two NVMe SSD slots where you can easily install your NVMe SSDs. For this install, I went with Samsung 990 EVO Plus. These are 2 terabytes each. So in total, I should have 4 terabytes. Installing it is pretty straightforward. You just gotta line it up and then screw it in. Once that's done, go ahead and connect the fan back in there and then screw the fan back in. And then lastly, you just put the plastic cover back on and then screw it in. And in my case, I'm going to go ahead and keep the Mac Mini on top and the Mate Mini on the bottom. Once we have everything fired up, we're going to go ahead and open up our disk utility so that we can properly format our NVMe SSDs. So in Spotlight, search for disk utility and that will open it up. First thing, click on the one of the NVMe SSDs and then click on erase disk and then give it a name. And then for the format, use APFS because that's the Apple file system. Once done, hit erase and that's going to reformat your drive and then mount it back up. Next, I did the same thing with the next drive so that I have two nicely formatted drives. Time for a speed test. So I wanted to see how fast these drives are on their own. For this, I'm using the Blackmagic disk speed test. To make sure I'm testing the right drive, click on the settings gear and then select the NVMe SSD, hit open, and then now we can start our test. So for the read speeds, I got 3037 megabytes per second read. And then for the write speeds, I got 2806 write speed. I tested it a couple of more times and then it was around the same ballpark area. Now it's time to set up a RAID. With RAID, you could use RAID 0, which is for fast speeds. So RAID 0 is for speed. What it does is it splits the data onto both drives. So when you're writing data, it's going to place half of the data on one drive and half of the data on the other drive, resulting in faster read and write speeds. Next up is RAID 1. RAID 1 is mainly for redundancy. So same data is copied onto both drives. In the event that one drive fails, you still have your data on the other drive. The consequence is that the write speeds suffer, but the read speeds are fast. Last up is JBOD, or just bunch of drives. With this, you can take two 2 terabyte drives and then pair them or stitch them to make 4 terabytes. But do remember, if one drive fails, your data is lost. Personally, if you have like a time machine backup, you can feel free to use RAID 0 or JBOD. But if you don't have that, then use RAID 1 as a general rule of thumb. All right, so I went ahead and set up a RAID. So for that, I clicked on RAID Assistant. And then I gave it a name. In this case, I called it Samsung RAID 0. For the chunk size, I chose the highest number there. And then I hit format and erase. And then it went ahead and created my RAID 0 partition. Next up, I started testing that as well. And then I got faster write speeds of 3077 and about the same read speeds of around 3079. So overall, not that fast, maybe 200 megabytes per second faster on the write side and about the same speed without any RAID setup on the read side. Next up, I changed up the configuration and set up RAID 1. This is for redundancy. And then I ran the speed test again. I got around 1533 write speeds and around 3030 read speeds. So again, write speeds do suffer because the data has to be copied onto both NVMe SSDs. Lastly, I went ahead and did some real world tests. I have this one giant folder which contains one of my older videos, and that's about 79 gigabytes. So what I did was I copied that folder onto the NVMe SSD. Do note, no RAID setup here, just single drive. So when I started copying, it took roughly around 35 seconds to complete. So if we take 79.54 gigabytes and convert that into megabytes and then divide it by 35, we get 2327 megabytes per second. Now this is far off from the 3000 megabytes per second read speeds we got. And this happened because this comes down to thermal throttling. When moving large files like 80 gigabytes in one go, the SSDs heat up and cause the transfer rate to drop. But if you're moving smaller files like 5 to 10 gigabytes, you should be fine. You should get full speeds. But on the right side, that's where things didn't make sense. When I started copying the files from the drive onto my Mac Mini, it took around 3.5 minutes to complete this. So that's because the internal Mac Mini SSD is 256 gigabytes. It has less cache. And every time I've tested this, I run into the same issue. The write speeds really suffer on the Mac Mini due to thermal throttling and not having enough cache. So there you have it. So in my case, the write speeds, meaning I moved data from my Mac Mini onto the drive, it was really fast. But then copying the same stuff back onto the Mac Mini really suffered because that's a Mac Mini issue. Now let's talk about the cons. You can hear the fan when the system is really ramping up, so that's one con there. Also, the Model A versus Model B trade-off. I wish Beelink created one single product that had both speed and expandability all in one device. They have two devices, and then maybe at the time you need more storage, but maybe down the road you might need a faster SSD or vice versa, so you would be stuck if you get one device. Last con is blocking access. So if you place your Mac Mini on top of the Mate Mini, then you block your power button access. For me, that is a big issue right now because I lost the other connector that would allow the Mate Mini to sit on top of the Mac Mini, freeing up the power button. But since I lost it, that's my only option right now. And I always have a challenge turning this Mac Mini on. So should you buy it? Well, if you're someone that's constantly running out of space on your Mac Mini and does not want to mess around with opening it up and swapping out the internal SSD, then by all means, this Mate Mini is a very good solution. For content creators or someone that deals with a lot of data on a Mac, this is a no-brainer. It adds speed, storage, and ports without the clutter. And honestly, if Apple ever made a Pro dock for the Mac Mini, this right here would be it. Well, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.